Good morning, everyone. It is still morning, and we're just glad that you are here today and you can join us for this, the 11th Excellence in Entrepreneurship Awards Luncheon. This indeed is a special occasion because it is our 11th year, and we are so proud to have our three sponsors continuing to work together over all these years. Kentucky Highlands Investment Corporation, the Center for Rural Development, and Eastern Kentucky University's College of Business and Technology. I'm Bob Rogow. I'm Dean of the College of Business and Technology at EKU. And on behalf of Jerry Rickett, who is the President and CEO of Kentucky Highlands Investment Corporation, and Lonnie Lawson, who is the President and CEO of the Center for Rural Development, we all welcome you here today. I would like to introduce to you our MC for today, and I need to do this well because he's my boss, Dr. Doug Whitlock. On his very first day as interim president of Eastern Kentucky University in 2007, Dr. Whitlock could not be found on our campus or in his office. Everyone wanted to know where he was, and for good reason. He was out in Eastern Kentucky and Southern Kentucky visiting with the communities in our region and finding out what the needs were within our region. He was talking with the community leaders, educational leaders, and business leaders, and he was looking for ways where EKU could help and assist our region as he began his presidency. It was only 3 months later that the Board of Regents appointed Dr. Whitlock, who came in out of retirement to be an interim president, the 11th president of Eastern Kentucky University. I think that his commitment is very much to apply the resources of our university to the regional needs and to make all of us stronger as we go forward together. And he certainly has done that over the last 4 years. As a Richmond native and two-time graduate of Eastern, Doug has had a tremendous career at Eastern Kentucky University that spans over 40 years. He has made it a priority to strengthen the existing partnerships that we have, including being with us today for the partnership that we share with Kentucky Highlands Investment Corporation and the Center for Rural Development, and indeed throughout our region. Regional stewardship, as some of you may know, is one of the missions of Eastern Kentucky University. And I think Dr. Whitlock really does bring all of our sincere efforts to this regional stewardship emphasis that we have. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you EKU's President, Dr. Doug Whitlock, who is our MC for the day.
Thank you, Dean Rogow, and welcome to all of you from what I have come to think of over the years as the Academy Awards of Entrepreneurship in South Central Kentucky. Let's all give Jamie Ridner of the center staff a round of applause and show our appreciation for the entertainment that she provided as we came into the hall. Now please stand for a presentation of colors by the Pulaski County High School U.S. Army Junior ROTC cadets, and remain standing and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and now please remain standing as Mira Baker, a Pulaski County native currently attending Georgetown College, performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Mira. Thank you, Mira, and thank you, Color Guard. Please be seated. Please join me in welcoming to the stage a Somerset civic leader who just last year received the Young Alumni Award from his alma mater, Eastern Kentucky University. 5th District Deputy Director Chris Girdler.
Thank you, President Whitlock, for the introduction, and congratulations on all the success that you and EKU continue to have. Mira, thank you for the wonderful rendition of our national anthem. Very, very beautiful voice. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to be here. It is great to be with you this morning and see so many people celebrating the successes that will be told today and celebrating the spirit of entrepreneurship. And it truly is that spirit that helps make America the great country that it is today. Congressman Rogers sends his regrets as his job duties require him to be in our nation's capital today. But if he was here, he would love to join us to celebrate all the great stories that we're going to hear. But he's very happy to see partners like EKU, Kentucky Highlands Investment Corporation, and the Center for Rural Development partnering together and realizing and promoting entrepreneurship within our region. A story that Congressman Rogers is going to share on the video screen is a very, very inspirational story. It's a story of a local entrepreneur, and it's one of extraordinary success. It's one of extraordinary generosity, grit, and determination. The spirit and energy of the gentleman that Congressman Rogers will be talking about will literally be contagious in this room. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my boss, a true visionary and an entrepreneur in his own right, Congressman Hal Rogers, via video.
Congratulations on 10 great years of business development and job creation. Entrepreneurs are the hinge on which our country thrives. Your success is our nation's success, and I'm impressed by the work of the 2011 EIEA Award winners. You're part of this decade of distinction. When I think about successful entrepreneurs, names like Bill Gates, Walt Disney, Henry Ford, Colonel Sanders come to mind. They developed a single idea into world-renowned companies. While their stories are impressive, I want to reflect a minute on an entrepreneur that I know much better, our region's own Rick Corman, founder and CEO of R.J. Corman Railroad Group based in Nicholasville. Rick Corman grew up working hard with his grandfather and later with an uncle in the excavation business. In the early 70s, Rick started out with a rented backhoe and a red dump truck to find work. Today, 35 years later, his construction and operating enterprise spans 19 states, employs 900 people, brings in $300 million a year. He's one of 2 companies in the country that repair railroad wrecks all over the eastern half of the U.S. Rick didn't find success overnight or without obstacles. Abraham Lincoln said once, "Example is not the main thing in influencing other people. It's the only thing." Over the years, Rick could be found pulling up railroad spikes in the sweltering heat just to reward his employees with a bonus when a job was finished early. As an entrepreneur, you have to know the ins and outs of your business, and you've got to be willing to do the job when employees walk out the door. I often advise entrepreneurs to plan your work and work your plan. But you can deviate from your plan if you're not paying attention to detail. Rick Corman gave that tidbit of advice to a Fortune 500 magazine reporter while talking about the chili that he preferred to have served with fine ground beef at his employees' cafeteria. The components that make up a successful product is all in the details. Thomas Edison, one of history's most famous inventors, said this, "Opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work." If you ever visit the R.J. Corman headquarters in Nicholasville, you'll get a new picture of Edison's philosophy. Rick's first red dump truck inspired his entire fleet, even his wardrobe, the red T-shirts, red train cars, red trucks, red buildings, red bridges, even red speed limit signs are evidence of Corman's territory. His theory is, you can't be good if you don't look good. Tour Southern and Eastern Kentucky has adopted that theory by offering companies style training for employees. Today, businesses in our region have an abundance of tools like success, employee training, and financial assistance through organizations like SCED, the Southeast Kentucky Economic Development Corporation, and Kentucky Highlands. Greg Jones and Jerry Rickett have developed dozens of local businesses and helped them flourish, and together they've assisted in the creation of more than 10,000 jobs in 25 years. Here at the Center for Rural Development, youth programs like the Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute inspire our young people to be innovative and creative. A select few even receive exclusive college scholarship opportunities to help them pursue entrepreneurship. Successful entrepreneurs like Rick are opportunistic, but they're also able to inspire and motivate others. Even though he's been battling multiple myeloma for 10 years, Rick Corman still goes to work with passion and pride. In fact, after his first bone marrow transplant, he ran the Boston Marathon to raise money for, guess what, cancer research. I'll end with this. We can take Corman's advice and pay attention to the details, but we should also follow his example of humility and passion. Congratulations again to all of the award winners. We want you to keep up that great work.
Thank you, Chris, for that introduction, and we certainly appreciate Congressman Rogers for recording that message and for his steadfast support of the EIEA program. Now, before we have lunch, we will have an invocation, and following the invocation, of course, the salads and desserts are at the table, and we have a buffet line. Looks like we have two lines that I assume can be worked from both sides. So then after we have lunch, we'll have the rest of the program. But now I'd like to call on the Reverend Doug Couch, pastor of the First Christian Church of Somerset, to bring our invocation.
Would you bow with me as we pray? Merciful God, you have said in your word, let the workmen be worth their hire. As we gather in this place today, we are reminded of the truth of that scripture. We see evident before us today those who indeed have been worthy of their hire. I thank you, God, for all the businesses that are represented here, all the individuals who have worked so hard to see their vision come true. God, as we gather in this place, we pray a blessing upon this meal. Nourish our bodies with it, nourish our spirits and ourselves with the presence of one another. And most of all, bless us as a part of acknowledging your presence and your work within our lives. We pray these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Please welcome Linda George.
The Small Business Administration would like to thank Eastern Kentucky University, Kentucky Highlands, who's one of our resource partners, and the Center for allowing us to make these two awards today. So please join me and the U.S. Small Business Administration in expressing our appreciation to two SBA guaranteed loan recipients who have grown their companies to over 100 employees, or right at 100 employees, since their loan closed. Our first recipient from Kentucky is Patriot Industries. Patriot Industries is represented today. There they come. By Miss Jill Guffey, the controller, and Miss Terry Fry, their materials and production control team leader, on behalf of Jack Mills, their president and CEO. Patriot Industries. I think we all know how important creating jobs is right now. So for our second award, it goes to Mr. J.C. Agnew, President, Outdoor Ventures. And I noticed that he was one of your sponsors today. And incidentally, he was a 2006 EIEA Award recipient.
Okay, guys, according to this script, I was supposed to have escorted Jerry Rickett, Lonnie Lawson, and Dean Rogow back to the stage and asked them to be seated. Now, if you're not finished with your lunch, please continue as we resume our program. Welcome attendees and invited guests to the 2011 Excellence in Entrepreneurship Awards program, which marks, this is going to sound funny now considering what Dean Rogow said, which marks EIEA's 10th anniversary. Technically, it's been 11 years, but there's only been 10 such events. Other way around? Okay. All right. We'll get it sorted out. During these past 10 program years, our decade of distinction, as we've called it, EIEA has recognized some of the region's top entrepreneurs for their achievements in launching and operating successful enterprises in eastern and southern Kentucky. We're looking forward to doing just that again today. Since 2001, we have presented awards to more than 30 individuals who exemplify EIEA's spirit of entrepreneurship. In fact, our photo and partner presentation that was playing prior to today's event and during lunch went back through our archives to show each and every single one of those award recipients from 2001 through 2010. We're honored to have in our presence some of those EIEA award recipients, and I would like for them to stand and be recognized as a group as we give them applause for their accomplishments. Please stand, all past award winners. It is because of these individuals and entrepreneurs and small business people like them that our region's economy will continue to recover, adapt, and prosper well into the future. Our success in EIEA annually is due in part to the support that we receive from our valued contributing sponsors. I would like to recognize representatives of our sponsors and some other special guests who have joined us for today's festivities. Our two gold sponsors are the Forge Group of Kentucky and AT&T. Terry Forge and several employees of the Forge Group are with us today. And do we have an AT&T representative as well? Well, please show appreciation to these sponsors. We're also delighted that J.C. Agnew with our silver sponsor, Outdoor Venture Corporation, could join us. Our bronze sponsors for today's event are the Somerset-Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce, represented by Bobby Clue, Mike Chandler, and Doug Parkey. The Southeast Kentucky Economic Development, represented by Greg Jones and Karen Gomes. Safe Auto Insurance Company, represented by Cindy Burkett. And Strategic Planning Specialist, represented by Stuart Arnold. Also help me recognize representatives of our friend-level sponsors here today, Ms. Nikki Kowalski, coordinator of EKU's Master of Business Administration program, from the Richmond Chamber of Commerce, Executive Director Mindy Goebel, from the Appalachian Development Alliance, Ed Harris, Paul Wright, and Danny Isaacs, from the Rockcastle Chamber of Commerce, Dwayne Harris, and lastly, representing Five Talents Financial Corporation and Somerset Recycling, Stephen Keck and Michael Keck. Please thank all of these sponsors. We're also very pleased to have with us here today Mayor Eddie Girdler from Somerset and Donna McClure from Senator McConnell's office. The EIEA program recognizes business owners and entrepreneurs in 55 Kentucky counties for their economic success, community contributions, and operational achievements in a business or nonprofit organization. The partnership between our College of Business and Technology, the Kentucky Highlands Investment Corporation, and the Center for Rural Development has broadened the base and enhanced the visibility of this awards program and helped to bring even more attention to the entrepreneurial spirit that flourishes throughout our region. It is important that we continue to recognize those risk takers who foster and promote economic opportunity and growth. Two perfect examples of businesses in our area that embody the spirit of entrepreneurship are Outdoor Venture Corporation from Stearns, Kentucky, a silver level contributing partner for this year's event and past EIEA recipient, along with Patriot Industries from Monticello. Both businesses recently were recognized by the U.S. Small Business Administration as part of its SBA 100, a list of 100 businesses across America that have created at least 100 jobs since receiving SBA assistance. In fact, you saw that earlier on the program. Each building on the list received SBA support in the form of capital, contracting, counseling, or investment before going on to create at least 100 jobs. Together, these businesses have created more than 10,000 jobs since receiving SBA assistance. So one more time, let's show our appreciation to Outdoor Venture Corporation and Patriot Industries for being part of the SBA 100. EIEA award nominations are made by individuals and community organizations, and the selection of the award finalists and recipients is determined by a committee of partner representatives and selected external stakeholders. The final selections are based on economic success and sustainability of the enterprise, operational achievement, and contributions to the community. Excellence in entrepreneurship will be honored in 4 categories: not-for-profit entity, startup business, for-profit small business, and for-profit business. Also, we will be recognizing award recipients in the Collegiate Business Concept Challenge and in the Young Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute Business Concept Competition. The Collegiate Business Concept Challenge was established 7 years ago as a partnership involving EKU's College of Business and Technology, Berea College's Entrepreneurship for the Public Good, the Kentucky Highlands Investment Corporation, and the Center for Rural Development. The competition, open to all students enrolled in a university, college, or community college in eastern or southern Kentucky, invites thorough investigations into new business ideas, either a product, service, or social venture. Entries are judged on inventiveness, feasibility, and potential for development, with preference given to novel products or services in an emerging market. The award recipient is given $1,000 to pursue the business concept further. This video segment, produced as all are today by the talented folks here at the center, spotlights this year's recipient.
I got involved in the collegiate competition for the business plan through the business incubator at Eastern. I had an office there as a student, and I saw it advertised and I didn't think much about it, and then they motivated me, the staff at the business incubator motivated me to get on board, and I was really nervous at first to do it and, you know, speak in front of the large group in the competition, but I decided it would be worth the opportunity, and I stepped up and did it and ended up, you know, winning. A lot of the contestants had what you would think would be a business plan, just an idea or a plan or just, you know, something they wanted to do. And I actually had a lot of better place to start from because I had a business. And I noticed a trend in my father's business, just being around and working part-time there and being around there, that folks would order too many materials. We accepted returns for a very long time, but it got to where there was such a large volume we couldn't accept all the returns. Say you cannot, you know, you can't take 10,000 units back because we just couldn't accept the volume. So I always just wondered to myself, what do these folks do with the excess materials that they have left over? And what I realized was speaking with some folks, that they were sitting around in the sun deteriorating or in a garage, or they were never reused, or they were wasted, or a lot of them ended up in landfills. So I thought, what do these folks do with it? So they always say that ideas and common problems always generate the best businesses. And so I thought, why not have a marketplace for these folks to sell these surplus and salvage building materials? My business is Contractor Yard Sale, and it's solely an online entity. There's no storefront, there's no physical location. It's just me and my computer, and it's online at contractoryardsale.com. and we operate solely online. And what it is, it's an online marketplace, and it's classifieds and auctions like Craigslist and eBay combined, specifically for building materials. So what really sets it apart is it's niche specific to building materials. You don't have to go through everything and not see everything you don't want. It's specifically for surplus and salvage, and of course you could put new things on there as well. In doing the work and preparing the plan for the Collegiate Business Competition, it really made me realize just how many details are required if you want to take that business plan and use it for something, say a loan or anything related to loans for the business, small business loans, grants. My advice would be just overcome any nervousness you have, anything that you have, and just do it, because it's not as bad it's not as bad as you think it is as far as being in front of a large group, and everybody there is really encouraging, and all the students there are basically on your level. They're just students that have their own business and they have a dream and ambition, and my advice would just be just to do it, basically. Just, work on it, get a good presentation, and when you think it's competitive, sign up and just go and just do it.
I now invite to the stage the winning student, Andrew Pennington, along with his advisor, EKU Assistant Professor Dr. Zach Esser. Now, Dr. Esser is not with us, so Dean Rogow is going to accept on Dr. Esser's behalf. Andrew?
Speaking of speaking in front of large groups, here I am. I'd like to just thank EKU for the opportunity to compete, and I'd also like to thank all the folks at the Business Incubator for really pushing me to actually compete in the competition, because, like I said, I was nervous to speak in front of large groups, but they really pushed me, and I'm glad I did it. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. And as emblematic of Andrew's success, this very handsome trophy will be on display in the College of Business and Technology at EKU. And for those of you who aren't familiar with these awards, and we give several today, it's an I-beam. The Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute was established 6 years ago to develop future business leaders and entrepreneurs in southern and eastern Kentucky. The Institute consists of an intensive week-long program focused on developing creativity, teamwork, and business skills, and is open to high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors throughout the center's 42-county service area. This video segment will depict the winning team of 5 award recipients.
What was the genesis of the idea? Why did you pick that idea, and where did it kind of come from?
Well, actually, we had 2 other ideas that we've been back and forth with that morning all day between a restaurant and a hotel. We went back and forth, and we were like, we just need to scratch both of them, start new. So we just started brainstorming random things, and we came up with something outdoor and to get the lake involved, and so we just went with it.
Branched out from there. We added the zip line and the ropes course and everything else.
And just people kept adding to it, and eventually it grew into the outdoor park that we envisioned it to be.
Yeah, it was definitely a team effort. Yeah, for sure.
Now, speaking of the team effort, did you guys see anybody just kind of take different roles in terms of leaders?
Oh, yeah.
What, how'd that go?
When we first started out, we all kind of just assumed who would do kind of what and like who would be the leader. And yeah, we did see that.
Yeah.
Shelby took over the computer.
Yeah.
She was pretty good with all the
Yeah.
technical stuff, so she did the computer stuff.
And Tim was kind of our relations person because it seemed like every time
Yes.
someone came in, he knew them. Or they're like, "Oh, you're Tim Taylor, right?"
And he always introduced us. He was
Yeah.
very good at introducing us in our project.
Yeah.
I think personally that Faith was the best as far as the English goes in all of our
Oh,
papers.
oh, yeah.
She was an awesome writer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the teamwork certainly showed, and I think that was one of the things that helped you guys win this competition. Entrepreneurship is critical to our communities, and it's critical to our nation. After this week, do you have a different opinion about entrepreneurship?
I didn't realize how hard it was
Yeah.
to start your own business.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely approve of entrepreneurs a lot more, look up to them a lot more.
I would have to add to that. I do know that I really do see that starting a business is a lot of work, and entrepreneurship is what makes this country run. Nothing else. It's the small businessmen. The government can't maintain itself. It's just it's never worked in the past, and it's just these small businessmen, working hard. It keeps this country going. So, and it's hard work just starting a business. Yes. Yeah,
and like coming before this program, I never really thought about any of that hard work or what an entrepreneur really does. And now you come away with a new respect for them, I guess.
Now we will bring to the stage the members of the winning team so each can receive a certificate. Nathaniel Calloway of Bell County High School, Timothy Taylor, a homeschool student from Madison County, Catherine Wells of Johnson Central High School, Shelby Boyd of Somerset High School, and Faith Call of Pulaski Southwestern High School. In addition to the certificate, I'm pleased to present to each one of these talented students the offer of an EKU Presidential Scholarship, which is valued at $3,500 per academic year for up to 8 semesters. We need only to take a good look around this banquet hall today to get a sense of the tremendous potential for our region. With us today are some of the talented graduates from prestigious youth development leadership programs, the Rogers Scholars, the Rogers Explorers, and the Entrepreneurial Leadership Institute. If you're a graduate of any of these programs, would you please stand and be recognized? Now it's time for the EIEA Award presentations. After I announce the names of all 3 finalists in each category, we will see a video biography for each. Please note that the videos are being presented in no particular order. At the conclusion of the 3rd video in each category, we will announce the award recipient and invite that recipient to approach the podium for a presentation. Please hold your applause until after the conclusion of the 3rd video. Just as a note, official high-resolution photographs taken by the center's photographer will be emailed to all recipients following today's event. Group photos taken earlier will also be emailed to all EIEA finalists and past recipients who joined us today. In the not-for-profit entity category, the finalists are Jeff Rubin, Executive Director of Body Recall Incorporated in Berea. Cheryl and Mark Martin, co-directors and instructors for the Appalachian Foothills Therapeutic Equestrian Center in McKee. And Dr. David Worthy, CEO of the Grace Community Health Center Incorporated in Gray, Kentucky. Start the videos, please.
Body Recall is a fitness and flexibility training program for people of all ages. We teach people how to take care of their bodies, how to remain independent with dignity and respect for as long as humanly possible. We have people in our program from preschool to our oldest student is 101 years old. It was started by a woman named Dorothy Crispin, who was a professor at Berea College. Her background was in dance and ballet, and the college challenged her back in 1978 to put together a program that at the time was for older populations. But she worked with people of all ages and all abilities and disabilities. And she set about putting together a program with two thoughts in mind. One, she said, I don't believe you have to have pain to gain. So she didn't believe in weights and machines. And she said, if people could do no more than sit in a chair, I can design a full body workout, which is exactly what she did. She took her students, put them in a van, and went all over the country to demonstrate what was possible. People would see her program. They'd see a woman in her 70s who would be jumping up on a table, and they'd say, how did she do that? And she would demonstrate what was possible, and people wanted to be trained in this process. And so they came from all over the country to be trained as body recall teachers. We've worked with people with all sorts of illnesses and all sorts of conditions. Diabetes, Parkinson's, hypertension, stress, stroke recovery victims, hip replacement, knee replacement, people with Alzheimer's, you name it. We've worked with just about every chronic illness there is. This program addresses the vast majority of people who otherwise would not set foot in a gym, would not use weights or machines, but could benefit from body recall. For the first time in the history of our society, more people are over the age of 40 than under. So we are an aging society. Even though we don't want to talk about it, we are. And the fact of the matter is, the government cannot afford to take care of us if we are ill, and so you will see more and more emphasis on wellness programs and opportunities for people to remain independent. And so one of the things we talk about is self-directed wellness. I think there's a tremendous opportunity for anyone who wants to get in the health and wellness field these days, or is interested in working with quote-unquote older and disabled populations. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, I think the time couldn't be greater for us to do so. I mean, we live in challenging times, but we've always lived in challenging times. We can either wait for an opportunity to come our way, or we can seize an opportunity and take advantage of it. If you're looking to be an entrepreneur today, I would say look for the kinds of people who are out there that can help you achieve your goal or your dream, and surround yourself with people who are better than yourself.
The Appalachian Foothills Therapeutic Equestrian Center came about as a result of Cheryl's interest in horses and children with disabilities. As a result, she decided to become an instructor.
Our clients range from 2 years old to our oldest has been 86 years old. They range from autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, vision impairments, post-traumatic stress disorder, attention deficit disorder. I mean, we can pretty much handle anybody that comes to us that wherein riding is not contraindicated.
In addition to the nuts and bolts, the PATH, Professional Association of Therapeutic Horsemanship Incorporated, provides information and workshops on starting a business and how to develop your business, and how to start a center.
Entrepreneurship can be really risky, especially in today's economy. But we knew that we were doing something that was really risky, and it took a leap of faith for us to do this. And so we just put our hearts into it, put our pocketbooks into it, worked really, really hard, got a lot of good advice, did outreach to a bunch of people, some of whom connected, some of whom didn't, and we just, have sort of trusted that, good things will happen if you do good things.
I would say that it's important to develop your business skills along with your horsemanship skills. That's kind of been our failing, is our business savvy. But we're developing that. We started very small and we worked slowly. We didn't borrow any money. We worked with capital up front so that we didn't have to worry about the banker coming to get our equipment or our horses. So I'm a conservative when it comes to our expenditures and playing our finances close to our vest. I would say if anyone that is interested in starting a therapeutic equestrian center, go for it. The rewards are indescribable. Money aside, the pleasure and the experience of a group of people teaming up to provide a horse experience is just overwhelming. When we finish a day's ride, we'll sit at home and just gaze off into the distance in our bliss and recount every ride and the fun that we've had. And if you go to our website at ftech.us, you'll notice that the riders have as big a smiles on their faces as the sidewalkers and the leaders. Everybody in that team gains from the experience.
Grace Community Health Center started years ago as a dream in Dr. Bruce Young's heart when he saw this model of the government and a faith-based organization, in that instance a church, working together to care for the uninsured and kind of the least of these. And for years he's been looking for that model. The opportunity came in January of 2008 to write a grant to begin that here in Knox and Clay County. That grant was written by him, accepted, and ultimately we received the award to start Grace Community Health Center as a federally qualified health center in June of 2008. We opened our doors in September of 2008. And what it is, it's really the federal government's desire to take care of the uninsured, specifically less than 200% under the federal poverty limit, and a faith-based organization's desire to show the love of Christ to people through that mechanism of high-quality, compassionate health care for the whole person, for the mind, the body, the soul. That's really what we want to be about. Healthcare is at a strategic moment in our country, and it needs the leadership of people who have been there in the office, taking care of people, understand it from that side, as well as strong people in the business sector. To be an entrepreneur needs to take risk. In my case, since I've never done this before, it means to fill the room with smarter people than me and shut up and listen, and I've done a lot of that. And it means to try and project into the future what you see in your mind. We have to do I'm getting ready to do a 5-year budget that's required by the government to continue the grant. And so I have the CFO and I, we meet and we try and project out, what does it mean? What's staffing level? How do you pay for that? What are our revenue streams? And so it's looking at medicine in this case from a totally different angle and saying, how do you sustain a great program? With limited resources, with overwhelming need, how do you do that? I contribute our success to God's providence and God's hand and His blessing, number one. And I believe if you look at our story, you just see that just things that came together that really were out of our control. So that's number one. Number two, I contributed to the passion of the people that started this, Dr. Young, Dr. Satori, a passion for taking care of Knox County, taking care of the whole person. They wanted to do that. They look for every opportunity. It's been something that's been developed over years, and this was an opportunity. Number three would be the people and the resources that the government's provided. The grant, the Kentucky Primary Care Association, which is an organization to assist us, and all the people that have helped us along the way. Our board, it's really the people that surround the organization, plus those two other things that have allowed us to be successful.
and the 2011 Excellence in Entrepreneurship Award recipient. In the not-for-profit entity category are Cheryl and Mark Martin, co-directors and instructors for the Appalachian Foothills Therapeutic Equestrian Center in McKee. Cheryl and Mark, please join us on the stage.
Well, I'd like to thank the organization for considering us in the first place. And I'd also like to plug our Horses for Heroes, our Wounded Warriors program. It kind of got edited out. That is really one of the linchpins of what we're doing, and we feel very powerful about thanking our service personnel for their sacrifice back from World War II to right now. So we really appreciate our volunteers, our board members, and our participants, and oh yeah, the horses too. Thank you.
Congratulations, Cheryl and Mark Martin. Now in the category of startup business, our finalists are Dave Weddle, President and CEO of Wellhead Energy Systems, LLC of Somerset; Nick Noble, President and co-founder of the Fortress Group Incorporated, doing business as Mammoth Resort in Park City; and Sandra Dingus, owner, president, and CEO of Drug Testing Centers of America in Paintsville. And now for this set of videos.
Wellhead Energy is based around the concept of taking stranded natural gas assets. Those are natural gas wells that have been abandoned, and it also includes landfill gas, biogas, other kinds of syngases, that we can use to convert those into electricity by using our containerized gensets. There are between 7,000 and 8,000 stranded natural gas wells throughout the eastern Kentucky. Our goal was what could we do to help bolster the grid 24 hours a day, but also remain modular enough to quickly and easily install. So what we did is we created a 3-section containerized box. And what we do is we have a section for gas cleaning and conditioning, we have a section for engine and generation, and we have a section for intertie and control systems for the grid. That modular box will allow us to basically place this in most places in rural America. Behind us right now is our first demonstration system. It's a 375 kilowatt self-contained generation box that will provide power to approximately 300 residents here in the Jackson County Energy Cooperative. When we started our company up, we knew that we were either going to have to, as they say, make or buy a company. And what we decided to do is go to a company that was already had many of the same skill sets that we were looking for on building our box. One of my high school friends and his father was a very close friend of my father, Joe Sharp, was running Sharp Houseboats at the time, and after talking with Joe, realized that many of the welding, pipe bending, electrical, engine work that they had been doing for the last 50 years really fit very well within what we were trying to do. So what we did is we subcontracted with Joe to use his people and his expertise and his materials to help build this first box. every person involved in this company, whether it be from the manufacturing side, whether it be from the utility side, or whether it be from the gas side, all parties benefit. We think we can bring great jobs to Kentucky. When we see a stranded gas owner realize that now he's going to be making $300 a day off of a well that has been abandoned for 20 years. When we see a utility company that now can push power much more effectively down the grid, and we can help control their voltages, which makes their lines not only safer but more efficient. When everybody's winning, I think this concept is probably going to be my most rewarding, no matter how successful it is.
Park Mammoth Resort is a beautiful 2,000-acre golf resort that was founded in 1964. Our company, the Fortress Group, purchased it in 2009 and have operated it since 2008. And what we're doing is we're converting this golf resort not only into the traditional business that it's enjoyed over the last few years in having a 100 guest room lodge, beautiful banquet facilities and conference rooms, restaurants and golf, but we're also incorporating shooting sports, recreational and tactical shooting sports, and our goal is to become the premier shooting sports destination in the country. The Cave Valley Winery was founded in June 1st of this year, 2011. It's been a great addition to the resort. It brings thousands of people in that are visiting the Cave Lakes and Corvettes region, and now they come here to golf, they come here for shooting sports and the like, but they can also enjoy live entertainment, some great Kentucky wines, and it's really added a lot to our business model.
We knew we wanted to do something in the outdoors or related to the outdoors. We knew we wanted to do something that we just had a passion for. We knew we wanted to work for ourselves. So over a 2-year time frame, we took ideas, got rid of some of them, kept the ones that were good, and slowly put a business plan together. When we got our business plan together to develop a world-class shooting facility, we didn't know where we were going to put it. We looked all over Tennessee, Kentucky, the mountains. We looked everywhere we could to find a piece of property big enough to host what we wanted to build.
We ran into this piece of property here, and when I first saw it, it was the perfect match for what we wanted to do, the way the valleys lay out, the combination of golf and the facilities, and it would just suit us perfect for bringing in all the civilian shooting sports and also being able to bring in some military tactical training and law enforcement training, and we've been able to do that.
They say that half of the battle is the will to try to become and do something on your own. The other half is the faith to believe that it's possible. And I think that's the biggest challenge as an entrepreneur, is to go out there, especially for somebody like me that was in corporate America for 14, 15 years.
Working for myself has always been one of the things that I've wanted to do my whole life. And I can tell you that it's also the hardest work I've ever done in my whole life. It doesn't take a lot to work for somebody else, but it takes a lot of work to be an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneurship means having those characteristics of being bold, audacious, and the tenacity to hang in there. But one more characteristic I think is very important is the intelligence to ask for help and to use resources that are available, and that to me is the real key in entrepreneurship.
of America actually was developed. We have a huge problem in eastern Kentucky with drugs. So It was a no-brainer for me as to where I wanted to locate the business because there was such a need in Paintsville and Eastern Kentucky. So that's why it was here. I never ever gave any consideration to anywhere else. When I first opened this business in 2007, it was drug and alcohol testing. As I went out and was marketing the business, I listened very carefully to what companies and corporations and agencies were asking me, and repeatedly heard, do you offer physicals? Do you offer other OSHA required services such as respirator fit tests and pulmonary function tests? So 6 or 9 months into it, I began adding those other services. So today we are a full service occupational health clinic where we now do provide all those services. Being a business owner, an entrepreneur, and being my own boss on top of providing a much needed service to the people in the community has been the best decision I've ever made in my life.
And the 2011 Excellence in Entrepreneurship Award recipient in the Startup Business category is Sandra Dingus, owner, president, and CEO of Drug Testing Centers of America in Paintsville. Ms. Dingus, would you please join us?
Wow, how exciting this is. They said I needed to be prepared to say something for a minute, but I think I still won't be back down to earth in that length of time. Thank you so very much for all the sponsors, the judges, the people that helped me get to this point. I did not do this by myself. A couple of them are here with me today. Thank you both. I said this is something that most people don't know. I've actually been an entrepreneur since I was 8 years old. I always seized the moment, doing everything from picking up pop bottles people were throwing beside the road that had a deposit on them and cashing them in, to babysitting jobs. So it no surprise to me that I would end up in some type of business. In 2007, I did seize the moment, and it's been very, very hard work, but so rewarding. It's been exciting, and I look forward to the future. Thank you again so very much.
Congratulations, Ms. Dingus. In the category of for-profit small business with 25 employees or fewer, our three finalists are Donovan Wadsworth, owner of D&M Contracting Incorporated of Richmond; Richard Howerton, owner of Howerton Engineering and Surveying, LLC of Greenup; and Patricia Cieslak, owner of the Perfect Setting Cafe and Catering of McDowell.
D&M Contracting started out back in 2004 by myself and another gentleman, Mike Wallace, who is from the area. And we had worked together for a few years. Actually, I worked for him, and we developed a good relationship and decided to to give it a shot. And we incorporated in '04 and became 50% partners and continued in that partnership all the way up until February of 2009. And at that point he resigned and I took over full control of the company. We moved into the restoration side of things and the rehabilitation services side of things around the time the economy started suffering back in 04, 5, 6 range. And it was kind of through that trying time that we started knocking on some different doors. In our talks, the thought of restoration work came up. Had no understanding of this industry at all, had never worked in it, didn't know anything about it, and we made some calls to our agents who we had insurance with, and they said, well, yeah, there is quite a bit of work out there, and so we just started making that transition. The preparation for the restoration business required quite a bit of money, money that we really didn't have, but it required money investing into certain tools, software programs. We're actually directly linked in with these insurance companies with our programs and stuff. So there was a decent amount of upfront costs. There was some training in fire and water restoration work, and and like a lot of other trades, a lot of it just comes from getting into it and kind of figuring it out as we went. I have to look around, to my project manager, my office manager, my subcontractors, my bankers. I mean, all these people who are playing different roles in this business. I kind of look at myself as being the visionary for this. I hold the vision for this business, and then I need to find the right people to make it happen. And so, I think perseverance, a commitment and dedication to the process, and then trying to surround yourself with the right people to help make that happen.
Howerton Engineering and Surveying, we're a full-service consulting engineering and surveying firm. We have an office here in Greenup, Kentucky. We have another office in Portsmouth, Ohio. What we do is we provide a comprehensive solution for infrastructure and development. Basically that includes all facets of civil engineering, from water to wastewater, stormwater, roadway, subdivisions, and of course surveying. We maintain a full-service surveying department. My father, Richard Sr., who is co-owner of the company with me, he started the company in the early 80s. He's a surveyor, and his company as a surveying company evolved and was able to grow and become a very profitable company for him. In 2001, I joined the company as an engineer and a surveyor. There's not a whole lot of other firms in this area. You've got a lot of big firms that are coming from larger cities and swallowing up most of the work here. And when I moved back here, I realized there's a significant opportunity for engineering services here. One of the most gratifying things about being an entrepreneur is being able to see, a project come from planning stage to finish, to be able to see someone that you hire right out of college or from the local university to see them grow as an individual, both not only from personally but professionally. And to see that happen and be able to give an opportunity for the local people is very gratifying. Someone was to come to me and ask me, for some advice on what to do if I wanted to start a business here in this area. The first thing I would think of is, make sure you have a market, make sure there is a buyer and something you can sell to, because not every business is going to work here. We have 35,000 people here in Greenup County, another 40,000 in Boyd County, and another 80,000 in Soda County. So, not everything's going to work here like it would, say, in a Louisville or Lexington. So make sure you have a niche. Make sure it's going to be something that you can sell. And also, when it comes to overhead, you might want to look at starting out small and growing your business in increments. And proceed from there. Obviously, being a younger entrepreneur, you have some bumps in the road. You got to learn from your mistakes. and be able to admit when you make mistakes. That's important too. And my father and I have been able to work together and grow this business, and happily work together, and we have it. We're really doing good now, and it's been a great trip.
The Perfect Setting is a cafe, catering, and gift shop here in McDowell, Kentucky. We have a cafe. We serve lunch every day from about 8 to 4 is our business hours, and then we do catering throughout the region. We do a lot for pharmaceutical reps. We do a lot of weddings and family reunions, class reunions, a lot for the banks, retirement parties, and that kind of thing. About 10 years ago, I was semi-retired from a mining company here in our area. I was a secretary there for 30 years. And I decided to begin doing some lunches and that kind of thing for the community from my home. So I was a licensed caterer in my home. And a friend of mine and a church member that we've been friends since early childhood, she had a Christian bookstore here in the plaza. And we had decided to try and merge the two businesses together. To start our business, we made a small business loan with our local bank here in Martin, Kentucky. And we put some of our own money in as well, and remodeled the building and began to buy our equipment. I always wanted to be in some type of restaurant business. I never quite visualized being a caterer, but it just kind of happened that way, that was the need for our area. And so I began to check into it and talk with my local health department about being licensed and what that involved. And I pretty soon saw that it could be a reality with some hard work. Being an entrepreneur, it gives me opportunities. I've met so many wonderful people through the Floyd County Chamber of Commerce, people that I may have never crossed paths with, that I have now, that have become lifelong friends of mine, whether I'm in business or I'm not now. And that is a lot of fulfillment. I've met some wonderful, interesting people. And then, of course, like I have said throughout what we've talked about here today, is giving people employment. I love seeing people grow. I love teaching them. I want them to, when they come here to work for me, my goal is to teach them all I know and then some. I want them to be better than I am. I want them to be a better cook, a better business leader, a better employee than I am. So that's my goal.
The 2011 Excellence in Entrepreneurship Award recipient in the for-profit small business category is Donovan Wadsworth, owner of D&M Contracting Incorporated of Richmond. Mr. Wadsworth, would you please join us?
Like you said, my name is Donovan Wadsworth, and you know, I came out here 12 years ago from Oregon, and I came here on an Amtrak train with 2 pieces of luggage and $600 in my pocket, and didn't know anybody, and I never could have imagined that that 12 years would go by and I would still be here, and I would be in the place where I'm at today. I have a wonderful wife. I have 5 very, very small children, and life is great. And you know, a couple of years ago, a friend of mine who was over at my office asked me to sit back in my chair and close my eyes. And she asked me to realize what my life would be without any fear. And so I closed my eyes, and I kind of thought it was weird. I mean, I knew she was sitting across my desk staring at me. But after a couple of minutes and kind of calming my mind down, she asked me what my life looked like. And for the first time in my life, I realized that a life without fear is a life with limitless opportunities. And there are no barriers. And I'm very grateful today for all the people that have been in my life and who have provided me so many great things. My wife and children, and Michael Rodriguez with the Small Business Development Center, who's helped me so much. So thank you again.
In the category of for-profit business with more than 25 employees, our 3 finalists are Rick Thomas, co-owner of Sonny's Barbecue in Somerset; Jonathan Houston, president of TrollandToad.com of Corbin; and Gerald Poff, Todd Hopper, and Aaron Hopper, owners of Poff Karting Services Legacy Karting of Pittsburgh, Kentucky.
We opened the Somerset store in September 1987. The franchising business takes some complications out of the process of opening a restaurant. Sonny's has been a real good partner for us. Mainly early on, I think, is telling us the techniques of cooking barbecue, but also a big help is being the buying power that the group gives you. You know, an independent restaurant operator is at a disadvantage for several reasons, but one of the main reasons is that buying power. We can simply buy our products cheaper than if we were an independent restaurant company. Franchising really helps you develop those business plans and to look at critical success factors. You look at the financial statement that the circular comes out with, and so you kind of know what to expect. And also you can go to talk to other franchisees, see what the critical success factors are as far as they perceive it, and they've been in business, they can guide you through that. And then once you're in business and you see how all those things come about, then you're a lot better at developing business plans the next time. I think the biggest challenge of the restaurant business, in any business really, is knowing what to be stubborn about and what not to be stubborn about. The way we do our business, the way we do work with our employees, we don't change those things. You know, we believe in an attitude of mutual trust and respect and things like that. And anything we do, we don't violate that policy or that rule or that principle. But other things, we've changed our menu, we've changed the way we do things to adjust to competition. When anybody ever asks me about going into business or going into the restaurant business, I say a simple thing. I say, what is going to be your strategic advantages over your competition? And if you don't have any strategic advantages over your competition, whether it's in the restaurant business or any business, you shouldn't go into that business. And if you figure that out, then you may be able to develop a business plan, or there may be already a business plan existing in a franchise opportunity to do that. The ability to adjust and adapt and continually improve, I think is very important, and you have to have that mentality to be, I think, a successful entrepreneur.
TrollandToad.com is a company that focuses on taking a collection of items, often used, processing them, grading them, and putting them out for sale as single units. So whether or not that is a collection of board games, a collection of somebody's Pokemon cards, or a collection of little miniature lead figures, each of those can be taken, processed by my people, and put out for sale individually on the internet. The company came together over the period of the last 15 years as I began to realize that the importance of the internet meant that there was finally a platform where it was possible for people to be able to find something they could never do in a store environment. They could actually have in one place every single item in a group or a hobby. In 2002, I came to the conclusion that my company at the time, which was small, that we could grow if we became a company that carried one of every single game ever made. And that was our attempt. And at this point, we are now the largest game retailer in the world. In general, the kind of products that we're offering for sale are first and foremost our collectible card games. The first collectible card game that came back in the 1990s was Magic the Gathering, but more familiar to a lot of people are games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! We also carry collectible miniature games such as HeroClix and Mage Knight that are little figures with numbers on their base which people can use to play against each other like they did back in Napoleonic times with lead minis. And we also sell role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons, and we carry a big wide variety of board games, anything from old favorites like Monopoly to Risk, Axis and Allies, and games imported from overseas. You are not an entrepreneur because it's going to be an easy life or because it's a way to make a lot of money. You become one because it allows you to control your own destiny, to be able to build something that you know came into being because you chose it to become into being. And it helps to be a bit of a workaholic because you're probably not going to have any time. The proudest thing I am about the building of this business is that I've put together a group of people that love the business as much as I do, that are as fulfilled about this business and treat this business as if they had started it themselves. It's about the people. I have a quote that we put out on the board from Andrew Carnegie that said that you could take away everything else he's owned as long as you left him his people, and he could have everything back in just a few years. This company is the same way. If I could keep the people I have, everything else can go away. I can rebuild it.
POF Karting and Legacy Karting are residential and commercial trash hauling companies serving municipal contracts as well as subscriptions from just various residents in several of the surrounding counties.
Right now we have about 27,000 customers. We serve in over eight counties. Usually run on the road every day, somewhere around 20 to 23 trucks a day. About 2 years into the business, Gerald and I partnered up, and we were at a point where we needed to improve our cash flow, and we took all of our debt and consolidated that and went to several banks, and were actually turned down by several, and finally found a bank that believed in us and consolidated all of our debt, which helped us with the cash flow of the business, and then we were able to purchase some of the things that we needed to purchase, and just kind of took off and grew a little bit more. And then a couple years after that, Aaron Hopper, my brother, came along, and we decided to open up a second company called Legacy Karting, which focuses more in central Kentucky. POF Karting is focused in southeastern Kentucky, and Legacy focuses up in central Kentucky.
When you start a business, you have to see the need for that business. And I guess that's why our company grew so fast. There was only one company here when we started POF Karting. That was the largest company in the world. And people were so dissatisfied that it was easy to get new customers.
My first advice to someone who wants to be an entrepreneur would be, plan. You can't think, well, I just want to do this because I've always wanted to do this. And I've done that. I've gone into a business thinking I want to do this because in my life, I thought I wanted to own a certain kind of business, and I got into it, and failed at that business, and probably that was the best learning stage of my life.
I think before you start any business venture, you should plan your work. It'd be something that you love to do and that you can't wait to get there. And for me, I can't imagine doing anything else but fooling with trucks, and I like talking to customers. I sometimes, they'll get the best of me, but I never let them see it, And I really enjoy being here, and to be an entrepreneur, if you can do the business that you like to do, you'll be more apt to succeed at it because you'll want to be there and you'll enjoy the. Todd and I don't look at being here as work. I mean, it's work, but I want to be here.
And the 2011 Excellence in Entrepreneurship Award recipient in the for-profit business category is Jonathan Houston, president of trollandtoad.com of Corbin.
Like some of the others here, I was not Kentucky born. I came here to Kentucky 17 years ago, and little did I know when we moved here that one of the things that I would find out about Kentucky, I did not know when I came. We came to Kentucky because of the great scenery, the hills. I bought a nice home with some acreage out near Corbin, Kentucky, and I wanted to settle down and make my life here in such a beautiful environment. But the many years I've spent here in Kentucky, I've learned that there's something more important. And what's more important in Kentucky is the people of Kentucky. It's the people that you meet every day, the friendly faces at the restaurants, at the post office, at Walmart, the girls that always seem to call you honey sometimes, want to give you directions. The people of Kentucky are what has helped make our company successful, and will do so in the future. Thank you.
As we conclude our program for today, let's once again thank the organizations that have joined our College of Business and Technology as sponsoring partners: the Kentucky Highlands Investment Corporation and the Center for Rural Development. Also, thanks again one more time to our contributing partners: gold sponsors AT&T and the Forts Group of Kentucky, our silver sponsor Outdoor Venture Corporation, and our bronze sponsors Somerset-Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce, SCED, Safe Auto Insurance Company, and Strategic Planning Specialists, as well as our Friends level sponsors, the MBA program at EKU, the Richmond Chamber of Commerce, the Rockcastle Chamber of Commerce, the Appalachian Development Alliance, Five Talents Financial Corporation, and Somerset Recycling. A big thank you to all the members of the Excellence in Entrepreneurship Awards Committee for their hard work in making this year's event such a success. Thank you to Lonnie Lawson and Center staff for your outstanding hospitality today and for your really great work on producing the videos. A big thank you as well to all those who nominated individuals for these awards. We couldn't recognize these deserving businessmen and businesswomen without your help. Again, thank you to today's pianist, Jamie Ridner, as well as our vocalist, Mira Baker. Last but certainly not least, congratulations one more time to all of our award finalists and recipients. Please mark your calendar now for the 2012 Excellence in Entrepreneurship Awards Luncheon to be held next year on Monday, September the 10th. We encourage you to nominate a deserving entrepreneurial business in your community for one of the 2012 awards. EIEA nomination forms can be found at the exhibit hall exit and at the exhibit tables. We invite you to take one or more with you today and urge your participation in this important program. Also, be watching for EIEA hometown events to be scheduled in the weeks ahead to recognize today's award recipients. For more information, please check either of these websites, www.eiea.eku.edu or www.centertech.com. We want you to stay on top of all the EIEA news updates and hometown events still to come this year and in coming years. So if you're on Facebook, be sure to like the official EIEA Facebook page, as well as the Center for Rural Development's Facebook page. Thank you for your support of this program and for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again next September. Thank you very much.